getting a little bit of mascara on your eyeshadow sucks because you're just like, you feel like you've completely ruined it because you can't wipe it. It gets everywhere. So I learned a trick along the way, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix that because of course I've gotten a little bit on my eyeshadow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, what's up? Hello, I'm Jo. If you are not new, thank you so much for coming back. Hi again. So if you did not see by the title of this video, I am doing an updated full face of my current routine slash my current favorites. So before we get started, I wanted to give you a little heads up on a few things that are going on if you have not been following me recently. First thing, let's go ahead and get the giveaways out of the way because everybody is interested in the giveaways. So first giveaway we have is Jeffree Star X Shane Dawson Conspiracy Palette. If you would like to see how to win that, I will link the video up here for you guys to be able to watch that, figure out how to enter for that, and you have until the end of this month to enter. The other giveaway I have going on is 5K subscriber giveaway. So once we hit 5K subscribers, I will be picking a random subscriber to give away AirPods to. Now the only way I'll be able to pick, I'm not just going to click on my subscribers and go through the list. I'm going to go through all my videos and see the most active subscribers that I have. Make sure you are subscribed and follow me on the IG. And if all those steps are completed, you will be entered for a chance to win these AirPods at 5K subscribers. And last but not least, before we get started into this video, I did enter the James Charles casting call for his new reality game show for the up-and-coming beauty influencers, and I will link that up here as well if you will please go show that video some love. Okay, so let's get started. I actually meant to grab my little headband thing to do my makeup, but since I didn't, we're just gonna throw it up and make it look funky with this little scrunchie. So again, this is my favorites video, but it's also a quick routine. It's like a quick way I've tried to figure out how to do my makeup and still feel and look glam, but taking away a couple of steps that I normally did. So as far as my updated routine, there is 2 things to start out with that I have eliminated from my routine typically. The only time that I will add these things to my routine is if I have to either photograph or somewhere to go really fancy, but as far as just every day, and even with glam, I don't prime and I don't use concealer, which is probably making makeup artists everywhere. No, you need primer, you need concealer, but I haven't been using it. Which brings me to my first step of my routine, my foundation. And this has been my favorite foundation for a couple months now. I've used this every single time I do my makeup for a couple of months. This is the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake Foundation. And I'm going in with the shade 339N. I'm just going to pick this up on a beauty blender and dab it in really good. Now this foundation I feel like is good because it's not heavy. It feels very light on the skin, and although it does kind of dry matte or like a semi matte maybe, it doesn't leave the skin dry at all. It doesn't cling to my dry patches unless I'm incredibly dry. When I went to Memphis, for some reason the air completely dried me out, and so I use this foundation every day, but for some reason when I went there and then I used this, I was like, whoa, why can I see my dry patches? But the setting spray that I used, that I'm about to tell you in a second, completely hydrated those dry patches and they went away. So we were saved by the setting spray. So as you can see, it has a pretty decent coverage. I would give it either a full or a strong medium. It looks pretty full coverage on the camera with my natural lighting ring, but there are a few spots that you can kind of see break through redness on my face, but it looks really good. It looks like I've used concealer, and I have not. I have just used that foundation. Next up, I love the way this Beauty Bakery setting powder actually works so good with the Instabake foundation. I don't know what it is, but they settle really well together, and it just makes the skin look really flawless. So this is the Flower Setting Powder, and I got the shade, it actually says Beauty Bakery Flower Better Not Bitter, and I got the shade Oat. Like, you can get this the plain translucent, and then it kind of goes up. There's like a banana and like a darker one. But the way this sets all my foundation when I use that Instabake, I don't think I've used this with another foundation yet, so I don't really know how well it works with other foundations, but with this one, it works really well. And what I do is just go in and blend out my creases everywhere, and then I will just pick up some of that powder and just stamp it into the skin just to set it to begin with. Just to get it good and set, and then I will go in and bake. And the reason I've not been using concealer is, for some reason, like, if you use a pretty decent coverage foundation, you can kind of get away with no concealer. And if I go over with like powder and I notice there's like a pimple or like a red spot or something that needs concealing, I'll actually go over it with this Tarte Kind is Pretty Shape Tape Powder Foundation, and I'll just kind of dip into it with my beauty blender and kind of just powder over the area that needs a little more coverage. And then when I set my face with setting spray, everything just kind of melts together. And I feel like without using the concealer, which again, I don't always not use. Sometimes my dark circles are so bad I kind of just have to have a little bit of help. But when I don't use concealer, I feel like my makeup doesn't feel as heavy, I guess. And in pictures, like just regular pictures, if I'm not doing like a photography type picture that I'm trying to like capture a really pretty look or anything like that, in just like regular day-to-day pictures, like with my family and stuff, my skin just looks a lot more natural, if that makes sense. Like, it just looks more skin-like. And the only thing that I've eliminated is concealer and primer. Okay, so my next step and my current favorite is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in Tantastic, the 104 Tantastic. And you guys, there's just something about this bronzer that just does my heart good. And I go in with the Morphe E34 brush. It looks like this. It has a good angle for bronzing if you want a more precise placement. I actually just got this bronzer in my mini Sephora haul when I went to Memphis, and my mom kind of gave me a mommy day. And gave me like some spending money and kind of let me go spoil myself, which was so sweet and so nice. And it was actually during the Sephora holiday VIB sale, if you will. And just a little FYI, if you have not noticed already, first of all, this is why, right here, is why you need to make sure your entire face is good and powdered. Because if it's not and you have like a little bit of a damp spot, you get a dark patch like so. But we're going to try to fix that. But I love bronzer, especially with this bronzer. You can really add and add and add and build and build and build, and it doesn't really get too much no matter what you do. So I really love how blendable and pretty this bronzer is. So what I'm going to do to try to blend out that little area there is I'm going to pick up a little bit of this setting powder that I used and kind of dust it over with this powder brush and blend it out. And it's helping, but it's not going away. So we did eliminate it some, enough to make it not as bad noticeable. Maybe we'll pick up the sponge and kind of dab at it a little bit. Yeah, that helped a little bit more. It's still kind of there, but not near as bad. But we want to go over it and make sure it is good and set with powder so that when we pick up our bronzer again, that doesn't happen again. Okay, so my next step in my routine is I go in with this Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I've literally tried so many different things to contour with, and this is just what I always go back to. So what I do is I take all three shades and I literally just brush across, and then I tap off the excess. I'm going in with the Morphe M536 brush, and I just barely in circular motions place this in the little dip of my cheek to add a little bit of a contour. And again, I just brush over all 3 colors and just kind of in circular motions. And then it might get a little bit like, which I kind of like my contour that way, but if it gets too much, you can always go back in. I'll go back in with my bronzer brush and blend it out. Just for the sake of video, I'll show you what I mean. Even though I like my contour to look like this, you can just kind of light-handedly, don't add any product to your brush and just kind of blend over that. Okay, so my next step, I go in with the Luxie 522 tapered highlighter brush. Now this brush came in BoxyCharm for me once, and it's supposed to be a highlighter brush, but I don't know about y'all. I don't always use brushes for what they're said to be used for. So I use this one for blush. I love the way it applies my blush. And my go-to blush right now is the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur blush. And it actually does what it says. It is like, it's called, this is the shade Coral Cloud. I don't know if you guys can see, but you can literally press into this blush. It almost feels like it would be a cream, and it actually might be, I'm not sure. But it's very, very soft and pretty. It has like, you can tell like if you really look really good. It has a tad bit of a sheen to it, like a, but there's no shimmer. Like it doesn't even really glow on the skin. I don't really know how to explain it. But this blush blends so well into your skin. Like it doesn't look like you're adding powder at all. It just gives a very, now when this blush was advertised, it was advertised to be used like you use your fingers, and I was like, I just can't use my fingers. Like I can't go in with blush and tap on top of powder. It would terrify me. So I was like, I'm gonna try it with the blush and my favorite blush brush, and I did, and I just love the way it applies. And I guess because the way this formula is, it stays put. And I don't know about y'all, but blush is one of the hardest things to stay put, I feel like. And this one actually does stay put. The next step in my routine, I go in with this highlighter, I guess it's a highlighter brush. It does not have a name, and it did not say on the description what it was used for, but I love these type brushes. It's kind of like flat but tapered. I love these for highlight, and I go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Resi highlighter. I love this highlighter. It's super duper pretty. The highlighter that like my heart, just every time I use a highlighter, I'm like, if only. I need Jaclyn Hill's new highlighter collection. I need all of them. I need all the formulas. I need the brushes. I need it all. I need it all. Unfortunately, it's the terrible thing about holiday collection launches is that it's the holidays, and I have children and Santa and family, and my favorite part about Christmas is not only being with family but giving to family. Like I love to give gifts. Like that is my favorite thing. Like love it. Like when I see, like when I watch like Undercover Boss and things like that, I'm just like, I wish that would be me one day. I wish I had enough money to just literally gift. That is my favorite thing in the world to do. If Christmas, I never received a thing and I was just able to give everybody everything that I came to my mind, no matter how expensive, it would be the best. And I know it's not about the gifts. I know Christmas is not about gifts, but that is just what I love to do. Like there's literally, like if I go through a drive-through or something, I remember one time I went to this drive-through and I had this big steering wheel cover. My husband hated it because it was really fluffy and black. But this girl, every time I went through it, she goes, I just love your steering wheel cover. And I was like, I really wish I could just give her my steering wheel cover, but I don't know how weird it would be. Like I literally would have just taken it off and given it to her because my husband hated it anyway. But I didn't know how weird it would be because, like, you know, somebody's hands are all over that steering wheel. I don't know if she'd be like, ugh, and be like, be kind and take it. Or if she would be like, I don't know, and then like throw it away after I give it to her. I don't know, but my mind always goes to that, and I love to do it. So I really hope that one day I'm able to do that. Just every time something pops in my head to give to someone, that I'm able to just go do it, because I would love to do that. Okay, so for my brows, they're literally ever changing. Like I'll use a pencil sometimes, I'll use a brow powder palette sometimes, I'll use a pomade sometimes. I don't really have a favorite at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop those on since they take so much time and they're boring to watch, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the next step, and I promise you this is not sponsored. This is just literally become my favorite things, but this is like the third Beauty Bakery product that I've mentioned. But this is the Beauty Bakery Sweet Grace Baking Spray, Always Spray, blah, blah, blah. This I love because it literally does lock all my makeup in and control my moisture. But then I also use an additional setting spray towards the end that kind of adds me more of like a glowy look back. But for now, we're going to spray our face with this Beauty Bakery setting spray. And this is a continuous spray that smells just like cookies. But I will warn you, even though it works really good, it will burn your eyes and it might make you choke a little. So I don't know how great for my skin this is, but saturate your skin till you can't breathe. So as you can tell, it really like airbrushes my makeup. My makeup looks really airbrushed and it just melts everything together, mattifies everything for me. And then, like I said, we'll add a little bit of glow towards the end, like right before I do my mascara. But here's what I do. This is what switches up for me depending on how big of a hurry I'm in. If you want just like a basic everyday look, like you could literally just curl your lashes, throw on some mascara, throw on a little bit of gloss, and be out the door. Or if you wanted to step it up just a tad, but not too much, like don't spend too much time on eyeliner or like on a eyeshadow, then you could take like a flat brush like this and dip into like a dark brown shade, black shade, however you want to do it, and just kind of press it against the top lash line, and then just add a really like natural false lash, and then do like, you could do a bold lip to make it look more glamorous where it looks like you got really put together but you didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. Or you could still stick with like a gloss or a nude lip if you wanted to keep it soft. But for this video, I'm going to show you how I do just like a quick eye look that like looks really cute and put together, but it takes no time at all. I am going to grab this James Charles Morphe palette because it is sitting right in front of me since I just made that James Charles casting call video. But I'm going to go in with this palette because like I said, it was just sitting here. And I think I'm going to go in just for the transition shade. We're going to go in with this shade right here, which let me look and I'll just go ahead and give you a shade name. This is the shade Punch Me. So we're going to go with Punch Me just for transition. Can y'all hear my son in the background? He's literally screaming. But not like screaming, like crying screaming. Like he's just yelling. Like he just randomly yells. Just like if he gets excited or if he's like literally trying to get somebody to listen to him, he'll just yell. He just yells. Oh, by the way, this is the Morphe M441 brush. Probably not the best brush to use for a transition shade, but I feel like for me, because it's not really angled the way that you would expect, but it like really packs on the color, but while blending it out, if you can see. So I really like it for this. It's just not normally a brush I would have reached for before to do a transition shade, but for some reason, it's working pretty well. And with that same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade T right here. And I'm going to pick it up a little bit and kind of just work it into the crease without getting all the way up there on the transition. So we're just working it. And I'm actually going to try to attempt to do this whole eye look with this one brush. That way you guys could do the same thing. Do y'all hear him screaming? Y'all could do the same thing if you only had like this one brush. So we're going to see if we can do that. Okay, so now that our crease is done, we're going in again with the same brush, same T shade. And I'm just going to kind of wiggle this into that outer V. Because the way this is shaped, you can kind of pack color. But not so intensely that it's like bam. But enough to where the color stays, but you're still able to use this same brush and blend it. And I think that's why I like it so much. And again, with this same brush, same color, we're going to try to sweep it towards the inner corner. I don't know what kind of results we're going to get because I don't know if it's going to work. It might be too big for that purpose. No, we're able to kind of, no, yeah. Sorry guys, I think I'm going to have to go to a smaller brush for this. So I'm just going to go in with this flat brush. This is a Morphe M166. And it is just a flat, more dense brush, and I'm just going to place that. It's a more precise placement. You don't want to get too messy. It's really easy to get messy on the inner corner and really mess up the look. So, there. And I'm actually going to pick back up that Morphe M441 and put that same tea shade, see what I did there? And just buff out that lower lash line. And then at this point, you could literally leave it as is if you want to keep your eyes kind of matte. But I always like to put a shimmer right to the center. It just gives that pop. So I'm going to go in with, let's see what it's called. Ring Light Appropriate, which is this shade right here. I feel like the more bold I get with the shimmer, the better this halo eye looks. See? And then I just take my other finger. See, normally I have like these really long claws because that's just my jam, but I randomly got this like itch to do really short nails but glamorous, like blingy. Ooh, it's got makeup on it. That's kind of not cute at all. They were cute before that makeup, but anyways, and I'm excited. Like, I always love the super long, like, crazy tap nails, but I love it when I have the shorter nails when I'm applying makeup, because it makes it so much easier to number one, apply makeup, but also to do shimmer shades like I just did. So for the next step, I just go in. My favorite, like, really creamy, good pigmented eyeliner is the Pixie by Petra Endless Silky Eye Pen. I have several shades, but you could go in with any color really at this point. If you wanted to just add a pop of color of like a blue or something like that, you could. But I usually go, like, for my everyday looks, I'll go with like this, either this copper shade, which this is called, it actually might be called Copper Glow. Or I'll go in with the black, if you want to be a little more bold. Where's my black one? Found it. Okay, so I'll just go in, and first I'll line the upper lash line to make my lashes look fuller. And then the lower waterline. And then what I like to do is whatever brush that I used to add shadow without adding more product, I'll just go and kind of buff that lower lash line to make that line not so harsh and a little more blended out. And it kind of like brings that liner down a little bit and makes it a little more smoky. So next, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter again and pick up a pencil brush, damp the pencil brush a little bit, and just dab that in the inner corners like so, just to brighten it up just a bit. I feel like no matter what eye look I do, I brighten the inner corners. Like, I feel like that's just kind of part of my routine no matter what. Because I just feel like it really just kind of makes the eyes pop no matter what look you do. And I take that same brush and just kind of highlight the right below the arch of my eyebrow. And then it is at this point that I go in with my Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist. And as you can tell, I'm very low, so I'm just going to have to use this just... Oh, here's what it looks like. Sorry, guys. Gotta do that beauty guru behind the hand thing. But I do have a brand new bottle. It's just in the kitchen, but I think we can get enough out of this because I don't use a lot. I literally just do like 2 or 3 sprays max. My life is together. I just do like 2 or 3 sprays max. But as you can tell, I love this. I have just a tad left. Let's see if we can just get enough. Oh, it's barely spraying, guys. Oh, are we gone? She's gone. But I think we got enough on our face to get the glow. And then I just go back in with this fan. And as you can tell, it just kind of gives the skin a subtle glow so I don't look so incredibly matte, because even though I like to control my oil, I don't like to be super matte. And it is quite the struggle trying to find the balance between the two. But next I go in and curl my lashes and apply mascara. So I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've curled my lashes, and the mascara that I really have been loving lately is the Rimmel Scandalize mascara, the Volume Flash in the shade 3 Extreme Black. And I just start at the base and just wiggle up, wiggle up, wiggle up. And I just do, like, depending on how my lashes are doing for the day, I'll just do 2 or 3 coats of that. Unless I'm doing like false lashes, which I've been wearing those more lately. I didn't used to wear them only because they took a lot of time to apply and I didn't always get them right. Sometimes I would just freaking ruin my makeup after trying to do it. But I feel like I've practiced enough and I've like learned my eye shape enough where I can wear them more, and they're so cute. Like, I've always loved them because they're so cute. Like, they can really complete a look. It was just a matter of getting the art down, and while I don't have the art down, I've gotten better. So I just do like one light layer, and then I'll use the fan to like dry that first layer, and then I'll go in with the second layer. I love how I said this was a quick routine. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this second layer, and then after that I will do a little bit of mascara on my lower lash line. And just a little tip, a lot of people don't know, but one of the most frustrating things is getting mascara on your eyeshadow after you've like spent so much time on it, which I know I did not spend a lot of time on mine, but if you do, getting a little bit of mascara on your eyeshadow sucks because you're just like, you feel like you've completely ruined it because you can't wipe it, it gets everywhere. So I learned a trick along the way, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix that because of course I've gotten a little bit on my eyeshadow. Okay, so first what you're going to do is make sure your mascara is dry. So if you get it on there, do not immediately go wiping away and doing this trick. You want to make sure everything is good and dry. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just make sure the mascara that you got on your eyelid is dry. It's actually best if all the mascara that is on your eyes is dry so that you don't mess up anything, just in case, but just make sure that is good and dry. And even at this point, I'll even go ahead and do my lips, and then I'll go back and clean up my eyes. So that's actually what we're going to do. So for my lips, my go-to lip product routine type thing is a nude lip. That's just my thing. So we're going to go in with the KKW Beauty lip liner in Nude 1. I love, love, love this lip liner. Here is the color. It's kind of messed up because I've been using it. Who wants that Artist in the Muse collection from her and Mario? Oh, girl, me. Me. I love that palette, love that lip combo, love everything about it. And just for the sake of the KKW, we'll just go ahead and go in with the Radiate lip gloss. But first, I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty Staycation Bullet Lipstick. Y'all know this is my jam. But this one is broken. It's kind of hard to use. I need a new one. But it got the job done. Love that color, love that formula. And then I just go back in with that Radiate gloss. It's such a pretty gloss. And just add like a little nude lip gloss. Again, you could totally do like a really bold lip if you want to make this look super glamorous, but you don't have to. Okay, so now that I believe the mascara on my eyelid, as you can see, I got some on my eyelid. You just take the end of like an eyebrow brush, the spoolie part, and you just sweep it over it. Just kind of like picking almost. And it literally got all of that off without moving my eyeshadow. Love that for me. Mainly because I make that mistake often. There. Gone. Okay, so that is it for today's look. You guys, again, I love how I said this would be a super quick routine. But like I said, you could totally have stopped and not done the eyeshadow. Just thrown on some mascara. Like, there's steps you could have skipped. But this is just my typical makeup routine that I do for, like, anytime I get ready. So original. But this is it. This is what I got. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye! Yeah, yeah.